Alright, hello and welcome. We are going to be giving you a brief rundown on how to play the card game Hanafuda. This is a game that is played with 48 cards, 4 cards in every flower type or month. The pine trees are for January, the plum blossoms for February, and so on down the line. I'm just going to briefly scroll over each of these that the person who made this mod for Tabletop Simulator was kind enough to label all of them. I'll be going over the specific cards and combos in just a little bit, but this is just so you can see which flowers are in which month. I'll be covering any special things over here to my right. Here I have ordered the cards based on what they are and the various combinations you can get. You can see the scoring that I've put down here on a little index card at the bottom. These 5 cards here are what are called brights. They are some of the more valuable cards in the game scoring-wise. Any of these first 4 are considered dry brights, with this last one, the Rain Man, as some call it, being a wet bright. You can only use him when making a set of 4 or 5 brights. The rest of these down here are the animals, with a specific add-on of the deer boar butterfly being its own set worth 5 points. The sake cup, however, is a special one that counts both as an animal and a junk card or plain card, depending on how your wording is. The ribbons, of course, have ribbons on them, very easy to distinguish them from the rest of the cards, and with 2 different subsets within them being the blue ribbons and poetry ribbons, which are worth 5 points for each set. You can also get a set of any 5 ribbons and get an extra point for each ribbon that you have in addition to that. Down here we have the moon viewing and flower viewing combinations, which are made by having the sake cup, as we saw from here in the animal section, and specifically the cherry blossom or full moon bright cards. Those are 2 very small, very easy sets to make. Down here, just for example, we have all 4 of what we would consider the current hand. So if you're playing a game, you play it over the course of 12 hands if you want a full game, where each hand is correspondent to 1 month or 1 specific row of flowers, starting with the pine trees and working your way all the way down to the paulownia. So if you can manage to get all 4 of the hand that you're in, so in this case having all 4 pine trees in the first hand, that is its own thing of 10 points. Now, something I didn't put over here is the plain cards, the junk cards. These are also chaff cards, as this person has labeled them. They do not have a ribbon, do not have an animal, are not a bright, and have effectively nothing special about them. If you collect 10 of those, it works just like getting 5 animals or 5 ribbons. You get 10 of them is worth 1 point, plus 1 additional point for every extra flower every extra plane that you have. So here I'm going to set up just a basic game of drawing 4 cards to myself. Where'd it go? I'm just going to do 4 cards to myself, and we're just going to put these 4 cards here as the 4 cards that my opponent draws, and then we would flip the first 4 cards to start setting the table. And again, because this is an 8-card hand game, I would draw 4. My opponent would draw 4 in that order. And I'm just going to try and get these all stacked together here. Okay, so that should be 8. That's 8. Good. And then we're going to flip the next 4. And this is how the game would start. Normally I would have an opponent sitting across from me, he'd be looking at his hand, but for the sake of argument, we're going to just play the top card of his hand as if it were his. We're also going to assume that I go first. Normally you would cut the deck and look at what flower you get. The lower the card number, the better you are going first. So if I got pine and he got the chrysanthemum, then I would go first, or at least I would get to pick who goes first. So for this, we look at our hand, and I can see the various cards that I have, and I really do personally love to get brights, so I'm going to play this on the matching bright. They're both cherry blossoms, and then I flip the top card and play it if I can. If I can't, then it just sits in the empty space. Since I have this, I then claim both the plain and the bright of the cherry blossom set that I matched. Now my opponent's turn. He flips, and he did not have anything to match there, nor did his flip card. So sad, too bad, out of luck there, and the play passes back to me. So I'm going to play the matching chrysanthemum for this poetry ribbon, and luckily enough, my draw card also matched, so I get all 4 of these cards. So these are my plain cards, or chaff cards, and this is my animal card. I got the, he calls it an 8-plank bridge. I've also seen it listed as cricket. I'm not sure why, but it does count as an animal card. I also get these 2 matches, 1 plain and a poetry ribbon, which counts towards my ribbons. Now, if we were in the third hand, this would have been 4 points because I just got all of the cherry blossoms. But I didn't, but it's not. Now my opponent plays that, and then he flips. Now he gets a choice. He can either choose to match the chaff or the blue ribbon. For argument's sake, I'm just going to assume my opponent is going for chaff for some reason. And we're going to put this over here in his scoring place. I, however, am going to go for the deer and match it with that blue and the poetry pine tree. Well, I get my blue ribbon and my deer as an animal. My opponent's turn, he matches with his ribbon, and we get that. So he now has a ribbon and another plane to add to his chaff pile of 3. I'm going to go and take this peony, and then we flip, matching pine tree. So we'll take this all down, and I move my bright to the bright pile. Then I have this chaff here, and the matching blue ribbon that went with it. Oh, wrong pile. Nope, right pile. I was right. So here we have 4 ribbons, 2 animals, 4 chaff, and 2 brights, which isn't enough to get anything to score. Oh. I misplayed there, but it didn't change anything right now. My opponent claims another plain card and an animal card. The order in which you sort them does not matter, it's just up to how you want to do it. Here we go, we have my turn next. I'm going to play this ribbon on the boar, and, oh, I got another poetry ribbon. So I'm going to set these out a bit more. The planes can just stack up, but let's see, we have so I just got the 3rd poetry ribbon. This means I have one of the methods of scoring, which as we can see here is 5 points. Now, I can either stop the hand right now, score the 5 points, or I can declare koi koi, which allows the game to continue. Because not only did I get the poetry ribbons, the poetry ribbons, I also got the hand of ribbons, which is any 5 ribbons plus 1. So that would be 2 more points on top of my 5 for the poetry ribbons. But I declared koi koi, so my opponent gets to play. And they got one of the brights. So we're going to move this up here and move his bright over here. He does not have enough of anything to keep to score, so the play continues. I play over here, and this one can't play on anything at the moment, so we continue play. Now, because I'm in koi koi, I did not add to any of my current scoring methods, so the game continues whether I want it to or not. I cannot say, oh wait, I don't have anything, game stops. No, I have to add to my score. So my opponent plays that, and then gets nothing writing home about. Now they have 6 chaff, 2 ribbons, an animal, and a bright, which is nothing to play with. I will play the Rain Man on that, and then that opens up the Chrysanthemum. So I claim the Rain Man, and while I do have 3 brights, the Rain Man cannot be part of a 3 bright set. So I still don't have anything to score until I got the Swallow, which was part of my Rain Man pair, and this adds to 5 animals. That means I could stop right now because I just increased my hand by 1 point. Or I can declare koi koi and go and keep going, where my opponent will then play this flower and that flower. And it doesn't matter where you play them, but if you match, it is always, you have to match to whatever's on the board if there is a match. You can't just say, oh, I'll play it over here and leave the bird for later. My opponent has 2 animals, 7 planes, 2 ribbons, and 1 bright. So he still can't play or score anything. But I'm also down to my last card. I don't match anything. So my opponent gets one last chance to make a play, and he does not grab anything of significance because he grabbed a second bright and another chaff card, bringing him to a total of 8 and 2 brights. So in this event, no one has scored because I declared koi koi. I do not get to bank my points. Had I stopped when I had points, I would have gotten the 5 points for the ribbons, plus the 1 for the having 5 ribbons, plus the 1 for the extra ribbon, so that's 7 points right there, another point for the animals, making 8. And because I declared koi koi at least twice, that means you take that 8 and double it twice, making this a 32-point hand that I passed up. And that is the game of Hanafuda. The rest of it is simply learning what the various hands are, which are laid out here before you, knowing which suits determine which hand you need for that extra 4-point hand. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and you have a great day.